Today we are going to be making this delicious, fragrant Dill cream cheese bread in the bread machine. So let's go over the ingredients you will need to make this Dill cream cheese sandwich bread. Of course, you're going to need some cream cheese, and I have here 4 ounces of room temperature cream cheese that I have cut roughly into cubes. I have 2 tablespoons of oil. I have 1/4 cup of applesauce. I have 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoons of active yeast, 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 tablespoon of dried dill. You're also going to need some milk and 3 cups of high quality bread flour. Now let's go ahead and start mixing our ingredients. First of all, you're going to want to make sure that your paddle is in your bread pan, and I like to oil my stem of my paddle, and I just dip it into the oil that I have and put it on. That way I can easily remove the paddle when the bread is done mixing, so that I don't have that big paddle hole in the bread. And so then we are going to first measure out our liquid ingredients. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cream cheese into my measuring cup, and I'm going to put my applesauce into my measuring cup. Okay, now I am going to pour milk into the measuring cup until I get 1 1/3 cups. There I have 1 1/3. And when you do it this way, so the extra ingredients you're adding, like the cream cheese and the applesauce, you still end up with 1 1/3 cup of liquid. So I'm going to put the milk and cream cheese and applesauce into my pan. Make sure I get all that goodness out. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and pour in our 2 tablespoons of oil. And we're going to go ahead and add the sugar and the salt. And the spices and the yeast we're going to save until after we have put in our flour. So here are 3 cups of bread flour. Now on top we're going to sprinkle our dill, and we're going to sprinkle our onion powder, and we're just going to sprinkle our yeast. Now we're going to put this in the bread machine. I'll bring you down so you can see how I set it. So we're going to secure our pan in the bread machine, and we want to go to menu setting number 1, which is the soft white bread setting on most bread machines. And I want to go to the loaf size of 2 pounds, and I want a light crust color, and we are going to turn it on. And in a couple of minutes we'll check our dough ball. Okay, so I just want to show you here what the dough is looking like as it's mixing. It's been mixing about 3 minutes, and as you can see, it's not really coming together yet. But that's okay, because I'm just going to help it a little bit, because we have that cream cheese in here. And it's not that the dough is dry, it's just that that cream cheese is a really thick substance, not necessarily liquid, although we're counting it as a liquid. So we're going to let it mix a little while longer. I'm just going to kind of press it together to help it incorporate. Then we'll check on it in about 2 more minutes. Okay guys, as you can see, it is kind of forming a ball. It is still a little bit it's just a little bit dry. I know when the cream cheese finishes incorporating that it's going to be okay, but I am going to add about 2 tablespoons, 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. to kind of help soften this ball so that the machine doesn't have to struggle, because we want it to be mixed really, really well. Okay, so the first stir on my machine anyway is complete. And I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to kind of press everything together a little bit. And I'm going to show you something. This is optional, but I do this on almost every loaf of bread that I make, and I never regret it because it really makes a difference. Remember, this is a bread machine, and it's not kneading like you would if you were making bread by hand. I'm going to turn this machine off. I'm going to reset it. On my machine, you hold the stop button for 3 seconds. Your machine should be something similar. And then that resets it. And I'm going to reset the loaf size to 2 pound and the color to light. And then I am going to hit the reservation. I'm hitting mine, pressing mine twice, so that in about 14 minutes it will begin to mix again. This gives the bread time to rest, the dough time to rest, and then it's going to start mixing over. It'll start again and mix the dough, and it just really improves the structure and the softness and the texture of your bread in the end. Just want to give you a quick peek at the dough ball. The bread has been mixing for about 4 minutes since it had its rest, and it's really come together now and making a nice dough ball. And I will show you what it looks like again in a few minutes. Just wanted to give you another look at the dough ball. So the machine has been mixing now for about 15 minutes, and so the dough ball has really come together and looking like it should. You want to make sure your dough ball makes a good form, has a good form, because this will definitely predict what your bread is going to look like. The bread is finished. I'm going to turn off our machine. It looks wonderful. We're going to go ahead and take it out of the pan, and then we're going to let it cool. Oh, it smells so delicious. We're going to let this cool, and then we will slice into it and look at the beautiful crumb. Okay, so our bread has cooled, and we are going to slice into it and see what this crumb looks like. I have a bread slicing guide here, and I'm going to be using an electric knife. This bread smells so delicious. Let's take a look at this crumb. Oh, it looks beautiful. Just look at that beautiful bread. It is soft, has very nice crumb. Hopefully you can see this. Oh, it looks so good and smells so good. You've got to try this delicious savory dill cream cheese bread. You're gonna love it. If you're enjoying my videos, please like and share the video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I like to help people learn how to use their bread machine and make delicious breads, as well as some other cooking recipes and things around the homestead. I enjoy spending time with you, and I'm so glad you dropped by. As always, the recipe will be in the description below, as well as links to my products that you can find on Amazon that I use, and ways you can contact me. God bless. Bye-bye.